Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Sunday Cook with me. Well, we're on, I think, the last football food Sunday. And we really couldn't finish football foods without having some chicken. Chicken wings, buffalo chicken wings, so on and so forth. Well, I have a recipe that I have the card, I'll bring it out when I come back, that is probably about 60 years old. Back in the town I was born and raised in at the time that we were young marrieds, there was no such thing as buffalo wings. At least we'd never heard of them. They probably had them, I'm sure they did, but not in the little town north of Boston, 5 miles from the ocean. Now, if you've asked about anything to do with the ocean, I could have helped you out with flounder, cod, haddocks, clams, mussels, shrimp, scallops, lobster, and anything else. But when we have a party, we also like to have finger foods, and so I have another chicken recipe, and then it's called sweet and sour chicken. Now, I used to make this every time we had parties, and it was a big hit. I can even see, I made it in my electric fry pan at the time. I don't have one of those now, but at the time I made it, and I could even see the fry pan on the table where I kept it, and in the breezeway area with the chicken in it, and because that's where it was every time we had a party. We had filled it with chicken. Now, the recipe says to cut up a chicken. I'm not doing that. I'm going to be doing chicken wings and drummies because that's the easiest thing if you're having a party to pick up. Now, this is a sticky chicken, but then a buffalo chicken is a messy chicken too if you have the sauce and everything all on it. So this is a 3-napkin chicken, but I think you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to take you down to the counter and show you how to put this together. Very simple, basically 3 ingredients plus the chicken. And I will be back in just a minute to show you how to make sweet and sour chicken for your football party. Back in a second. I had one more thing to tell you. One of the ingredients it calls for is Russian dressing. Now, Russian dressing is almost impossible to find. I can find it on places like Amazon. I have seen Russian dressing that looked a lot like Catalina dressing, but this one is the Russian dressing that is the creamy Russian dressing. Looks almost exactly like Thousand Islands dressing. And I'm going to be using Thousand Islands because I couldn't get the Russian. But the difference is, the Thousand Islands dressing is a little bit sweeter. It has some sweet pickle relish in it. The Russian dressing is more savory. It has some horseradish and Worcestershire sauce in it. So, but it's the same base to start with. Mayonnaise and ketchup and so on. So I'm going to be using the Thousand Islands, and I'm just going to throw in a little Worcestershire sauce and try to give it a little bit more savory. But it'll be just fine. So now I'll take you down and show you how we put it together. Okay, I have a bowl here. This is a jar of apricot preserves. And we're going to, whoops, that's my pan fell over. We're going to use the whole jar. Okay, then I have my Thousand Island dressing. I didn't open it ahead of time, sorry. And we're going to use the whole bottle. And the last ingredient is a package of Lipton's onion soup mix. Now it says cut up the chicken, brown the chicken, and then put the sauce on it. I don't brown the chicken up front. What I do is at the end, well, because I just put it in my fry pan before and it browned by itself because it stayed there so long. But if it needs to be browned when it comes out of the oven, I'll just put it under the broiler a little bit. A little Worcestershire sauce. Now you can find recipes online to make your own Russian dressing if you want to, but I'm all for quick, easy, and convenient. Now let me just make a little space here. To put my cookie sheet. Let's see if I can get a little bit better picture here. Okay. I'm going to start with the drummies, and I'm just going to put them right in. Get them nice and coated. Slippery little buggers. Okay. And the next, we have the wings. Now Bob likes me to leave the little chips on the wings, so that's why they're there. Now I have foil on this pan. I also greased it because it's very sticky. Let me just get this out of here. One more. Doesn't want to cooperate. And I'm just going to make sure there's plenty on here. Because we can't use this for anything else. There you go. I'm going to put that in the oven. It says to cook it at 325. Now, I would not normally do that. For some reason, that's what the recipe says. I'm going to start it at that, and if it seems to be taking too long, I'll turn it up to 350. So I will see you back when it's time to take it out and give it a taste. Back in a bit. Just a little update before you see the last frame and the taste test of the sweet and sour chicken. I was following the recipe exactly as it was written, but I can tell you right now, 325 is not where you should have your oven. I would have it no lower than 350. I'd probably even do 375. The problem was the chicken was cooking, but it wasn't browning, and you want that glaze that you put on there to get nice and brown and crispy. So I did broil the piece that I took out to test, but the rest of it I took out of the oven and then jacked the oven up to 400 and put it back in the oven for about 20 minutes, and it came out just perfect. So you need to have a hotter oven, and then you can time it. I think 375 for an hour is fine, because you know this is dark meat. It's not going to dry out. Even after the time I had it in the oven, it was very, very moist. Part of it because it has so much marinade on it. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know. Now back to the video. Okay, here we are. Now, I would say cook it to your liking. I think 325, it's good if you got time to let it cook for a while. And then what I did with this is put it under the broiler, and it's very tender. But it gives them a little bit of color. And it's hot. Just came out of the oven. But I haven't tasted this in I don't know how many years. I'm going to just cut it off. Which I know is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pick it up. All right. Come on up. Let's see what we got. Good. Onward. Delicious. Can you tell? Now, I'm an anti-sticky person, but you do need to let it cook. And when it comes out, you need a little salt and pepper. But that sauce is so good. It's finger licking good. All right. I better stop. I will see you Wednesday. The Wednesday is the first Wednesday in October. I think we'll be doing a wreath with ribbons. So until I see you then, I hope your team wins today. Have a great afternoon, morning, night, evening, whatever it is for you. Everybody play nice now. Love ya. Bye-bye.